Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Science of Superpowers. So glad to have you here again, and especially as part of this brilliant feature. We have Abby Loza here. Hi, Abby. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well, Tonya. Thanks so much for asking.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we're so glad that you're here, especially as part of our celebration. So we'll bring Abby back on here in just a moment. First, I want to share with you that the Superpower Network celebrates courageous creativity with pride, honoring LGBTQIA contributions, LGBTQIA plus contributions to how we see our world, how we see each other, how we express ourselves, how we live, and how we love. In every era, every culture, and every nation, individuals challenging the status quo for an opportunity to creatively self express make it possible for all of us. Thank you for having the courage to share you with us and inviting us to take a deeper look within ourselves toward what's possible. We love you, love each other. Perfect. Well, thank you, Abby, for being here. And that's the container with which we're opening this up as part of our feature on celebrating courageous creativity with pride. And we're talking today about creating kind spaces because Abby works at a beautiful organization called 1 in 10 that works with youth who identify in this community or are curious about it or looking for safe spaces to sort of figure out even what this means and who they are and how they identify. And that's sort of my umbrella term. So we'll get into it here more in a minute, Abby, about what 1 in 10 does and your work with them. But let's start with you. What are your superpowers and how do you use them for good?
I feel like my superpowers are empathy and kindness, and I use them for good on a daily basis, especially here at 1 in 10, but just as entering the world as a human. Right when I leave my house in the morning, I think about how I can be kind and how I can just bring other people into a space of kindness.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And you're the youth and operations director or manager over there at 1 in 10. Talk to us a little bit about the 1 in 10 mission and how you see how you align with that.
Definitely. Our mission is to serve LGBTQIA young youth and young adults ages 11 to 24. And we do that through empowering programs, leadership development, healthy life choices. My focus a lot of times is an outlet through art. So I primarily focus on a lot of our art programs and our writing programs and things of that nature, but we really do a wide variety of different kinds of programs here out of the center and then also out of the 15 satellites that we run throughout Arizona. It's really based on youth-centric programming. So we're not only doing what youth want to learn about, but we're also doing things that youth need to learn about, especially youth in our community.
Brilliant, brilliant. I love that. And I love the creative thread. We really see here at the Institute a common thread in creativity amongst most of the social upheaval, most of the uncertainty upheaval. Amidst all of that is this thread of creative expression, creativity, and the undeniable realization that does tie us into the bigger creation conversation, which is where we connect with each other at a humanity level. There's a beautiful thing that gets cultivated when we allow for spaces to invoke or cultivate creative expression. And when we understand now through energetics that the entirety of our creative expression makes up what's possible in our experiences. And so this goes well beyond like arts and crafts at school. And in cultivating that spark, we're actually teaching people how to better understand themselves, each other, the world around them, how to create with the energetics. And there's this whole world that the youth are sort of playing in that's much more sensitized environment that a lot of our folks, our older generations, are completely obtuse to. It's a really fascinating thing to observe. And in the energetic space, we look at it as sensitization. In your world, in the conversations of youth and how they identify, we're looking at variability factors. And what we're seeing is like, they're not going to stop randomly identifying however they want to. Like the individuated creative expression is out. We know how to to continue evolving it. Like I don't see this going back into any kind of binary, right? Like I just don't see you all voting for that. Like these younger generations that are, and maybe I'm making assumptions, but I'm assuming that you're in a younger generation than I am, and that it's just different, right? There's a different whole way of beingness, and it's creating a lot of confusion in these conversations. And that's what's creating a lot of the backlash, I think, that we're seeing right now. And at the heart of it, folks, we have to understand these are children. These are our youth. These are our future. And they don't owe us anything, right? They don't owe us anything. They don't owe us carrying on shoddy construction that we made or boxes that don't work for them. They want more creative expression. They want to know themselves, and they want the space to be able to do that and not be afraid. So Abby, talk to us a little bit about how we can support things like what 1 in 10 are doing. I mean, it's such a huge conversation with people in so many spaces. Let's assume we're talking to the folks that are like, yeah, I get it. I really want to tap into that humanity, but I don't even understand this stuff. Like, I don't even get it. Like, we allowed Neva to sort of walk us through the whole pronouns and the this and the that, because even being in the conversation since the 90s, it's totally different now. Right. And so how can the parents, how can those who are around these youth really support their walks when we don't even understand half the time the world that they're living in?
Yeah, definitely. I think the main thing that we all need to remember in general is to just not resist change. That change is good, and we have to be adaptable and be prepared for change. Because I don't know about you, but I know for me, when I finally found the language of a queer and a pansexual, it was so like world opening for me to finally have something that was like, oh my gosh, this is who I am. This is what I identify as. And it was wonderful to have that language. And I think that if people can just recognize that sexuality, identity, becoming who you are is very, very fluid. And that's something that we need to be able to allow our young folks to do. It's just going to create a better world all the way around if people can feel comfortable figuring out who they are and not having it be, oh, well, no, this has to fit into this box and this has to fit into that box. So I think the main thing is anybody that wants to get involved, that wants to be an ally, or maybe has a young person in their life that is figuring out their identity or maybe struggling with that, is to just be adaptable and be open to change. You don't think you can change your pronoun usage? I promise you that you can. You don't think that you can understand all the flags or all the identities? I promise you that you can. And honestly, you don't have to understand all of them. You need to understand the one that's going to affect the young person in your life. And if you want to go bigger than that, then by all means, I implore you to educate yourself, because there's so much wonderful information out there. But also at 1 in 10, I mean, the main thing that we do is just make sure everyone feels safe, no matter what you identify as. No matter if you want to come today as dressed as one gender and come the next day with a different gender identity, that is totally fine. And we want that to be welcomed. We want folks to know that it is a journey. And not everybody is going to be right there with you, because you're experiencing this journey firsthand. So for the young people that are hearing this, have patience with the people that are trying to learn. And for the people that are trying to learn it, be open to change and be willing to get a little bit uncomfortable in it. And know that this isn't something that has anything to do with you. This very much has to do with the young person in your life, the young people in your life. So it's even more than that. I mean, I can tell you there are people, I don't know what generation you're in. I'm 45, so I'm not a super young generation at this point, but I definitely feel like even folks my age and older are still figuring things out. Right. So I think the main thing is just embrace that change and welcome the education that is all around you, because we're happy to do it. We provide a training program that will literally blow your mind. I learn something every time I take it, and it just will really give you the language that you need to respectfully go into a conversation or be in a relationship with somebody that identifies within the community. But also, if you're just an ally and want to learn to be a strong ally, it's a great way for you to just get that language. Language is so important.
Brilliant. I love it. And that's sort of what makes us uncomfortable, that we're going to say the wrong thing. We're going to do the wrong thing. And it's okay. You know, I love that you said it's okay to get uncomfortable. It's, you know, that's part of our work at Superpower Experts, is to show you the techniques to work through the discomfort, right? Not to run away from it. We've got to clean up these roots, folks. And here's the beautiful thing, like, these programs didn't start with us. Like, we're all polluted with it. So it's kind of like, all right, let's just face facts, say, okay, we're all kind of, our hands are all kind of dirty in this, being complicit and complacent. The field moves through all of us. So cleaning up ourselves first allows for us to first feel good about who we are, right? Back into that sort of, okay, we got this, right? We are creative beings. Like, come on now, we can do this, right? and then what is even this, right? What was the fear to begin with? And then you can kind of start shining that light a little brighter and say, I can extend that kindness out to others, right? Because it's always available to us. So sharing it doesn't deplete it, it actually strengthens it in the coolest way possible. So it's like, why not use it, right? And so I love how you're speaking. And thank you so much for the guidance on the allyship, right? Because and then I think the continuum, right? It takes us back to the Kinsey research of like, we've known this, right? We wanted to create spaces a long time ago. We started creating those boxes. Now I think after the pandemic and everything else, we're finally ready to see that they weren't working, right? The systems weren't working for everyone. They probably weren't working really well for anybody, but we all just kind of accepted them. And I just think enough of us finally said, no more, like I'm done pretending. Let's go actually create something that sounds fun and works for all of our creative expression, because I believe at the end of the day, we all want the freedom to evolve, right? And to become more wholly who we are. And that's what we learn from the youth. That's what we learn from each other, right? From we get to take it beyond this time kind of thing. And that's what Neva taught us, bringing her into the business with us when she was 2. It was like, wait, hold up. Like if we just kind of remove this whole kind of age construct thing, what happens here? And to dance in that fluidity within family units, all while still like doing the training and providing the frameworks and all of that stuff, because that's necessary too. And so I love this dance that you're doing in the midst of so much chaos, so much uncertainty, so much vehemence, like the ugliness that's coming out. Like please heed Abby's words, like have patience, because this is in response to just how brightly everyone's shining. And so just shine brighter. And I know it's not an easy thing to suggest, and it's certainly not even fair to ask. But for those who can, like, shine as bright as you can, find your places of support, right? Abby, where can we send them to if they want to connect in with 1 in 10?
So always check out our website or social medias for 1 in 10. The main youth center is located in downtown Phoenix off of Portland and Central. If you're interested in any of the satellite locations, we're all over the valley. So you can reach out to us to get that information. Obviously, we keep things sacred so that they can stay safe, but recognize that there really aren't that many safe spaces. And so I think that really being aware that providing that or being a part of that is so important, because like you said, the world around us is not necessarily a safe space. So getting that education, getting that language and providing that, or getting young folks to a place where they can have that is super duper important, because it's not that common. As much as you would hope it is, it isn't.
Yeah, understandable. And is 1 in 10 Arizona only right now?
We are Arizona only right now. That may or may not be changing very soon, but folks can connect with us virtually. So we very much we have a Discord with every channel you can imagine. So it's a little bit like a virtual youth center through Discord. And we also have Zoom and Twitch programming. So folks can definitely connect with us out of state through our virtual programs.
Fabulous. Well, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing those resources. And folks, remember, if you're feeling depleted, right? If your creative expression is down, if you're just feeling that world crushing in on it, and you don't have the space to be like, wait, I get to say, right? My terms, my world, like I get to say, go to those spaces. Certainly go check out 1 in 10. They've got resources there. You're welcome to peruse the network. We've been broadcasting since 2017, high vibe material. Just remember, like, there are bigger conversations. There are people who care about bigger things. There are those of us who are doing our best to create new systems and creative solutions so that you have more to choose from. It's like all kinds of people working in all kinds of places. And sometimes that gets challenging to remember when it feels like that world is crushing in on you. But it is worth continuing to shine, no matter what age you are, no matter where you are at in your development. We're beyond this kind of like what your avatar looks like, folks. Like we've got folks being born that are hugely brilliant, and we probably should be listening, and all along that way, and just kind of be willing to see beyond what we think we know about each other, and listen when we share and when we talk, because we all have our own little world maps that we're creating, and it's fun to share them, right? Our lives are richer when we come together and say, oh my gosh, you too, or that's cool, or oh, I need that little puzzle piece. Hey, can I put it over here? What would that look like, right? we just want to create together. And I know that that sounds really simplistic when you turn on social media and you kind of look out at the world, but I promise you that's what's at the heart of all of this, right? We all simply want the space to co-create, to express ourselves, to be loved, to be seen, and we don't want that threatened. And when we're willing to turn around and look at what it feels like when that feels threatened, we stand a chance of being able to start listening to each other. All right. And that process is an individual one, and you've got to walk through it for yourself. In the meantime, recognize everybody's walking through that, including our youth, in some really scary, uncertain times, knowing that all the adults in the world don't know what the heck's going on. Like, undeniably, like, this is unprecedented. Unprecedented, where whole generations literally can't rely on the older generations to explain what's happening because it's never happened before. They're on their own and they know it. So why don't we just start supporting them and helping and listening about what they want, rather than being that dead weight that they've got to figure out how to navigate around. That's my soapbox, Abby. Thanks for that. Thanks for listening to this space to do it for a moment. What are some parting words with folks, for folks who aren't quite ready to kind of wave their flag, right? But want to go on that journey, and their worlds just don't affirm it. Like, it's easy for us to say, oh, go check out this and go check out this, but it's like, what if it's not even like a thing, right? Like, where do they go? What do they do inside of themselves to prepare them to open up to being able to live a totally different life?
I think always just knowing that as humans, we change constantly. And so I think just being kind to yourself and really listening to yourself. I can't say enough about paying attention to you and the giving yourself the love that you need. And also knowing that safe spaces aren't just there for queer folks. Like, every youth that comes in here doesn't identify as queer or gay. We have a lot of allies that come through, and there's a lot of young folks that come through that don't know exactly where they are at in their journey yet. And that is totally fine. So I think starting wherever you feel comfortable, whether that's doing some art that makes you bring out some things in yourself that, you know, you feel like you're not really sure about, or writing without any judgment. No, just write whatever might be in your mind, and talk to people. There's other people that are going through they're feeling the same. I promise you there are. So don't be afraid to talk to people when it feels safe and when it feels right. Keeping anything to yourself and bottling it up, or just really not kind of finding that language or the path that you need to go on, is never going to serve you. So open your mind up, be prepared to get some information, and really just be kind to yourself through the whole thing. You're a growing, changing human, and we all are, and we need to stay kind to ourselves, and especially to others.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. And Abby, thank you for shining your light and sharing you going on your journey, so you can be that doorway for others. Your courageous creativity and your self-expression clearly light up that doorway for others to come in and feel welcome, and it's huge. And so thank you for the work that you're doing, and who you are in the world, and for being here with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, totally.
Brilliant. And thank you to everyone out there. As always, we love that you're watching and listening. Just got on YouTube not too long back, so make sure you're getting over there if you're used to listening to us on your podcast player. And go to superpowerexperts.com if you haven't had a chance yet to check out the MYP course, right? If you're wanting to know what it looks like to kind of start walking on a developmental journey for yourself, go and check that out, whatever that looks like for you, right? Right, however your fluidity moves you through the world. And you can also check out the CFA techniques if you're wanting to know how to feel a little bit more calm and connected, right? That's that simulated experience where you get to have the sensitization, reminded of what it feels like to be in your wholeness. It's a good time to attune to that when things start to feel a little bit wobbly. So get over to superpowerexperts.com. And if you have an organization with a social impact mission that you want us to get in and assist in their mission and support them, you let us know. Get over to superpowerexperts.com and check out our social impact initiatives. Thank you all. Remember, until next time, remember who you are. We love you. Love each other. Goodbye for now.